Perfect. Okay. So Day in the Life video storytelling workshop, building connection through authentic content. Today we'll do, there's a quick overview. Tonight we're going to be going over why Day in the Life video works. What is your why? What is your competitive advantage? The framework, right? So we're going to build what your framework should look like for your videos. How do brands use day in the life videos to market professional services? I'm going to show you guys our company Instagram account. When I say our company, not just Adventures, but my production company's Instagram account, because it truly utilizes video like daily to tell stories, and this might be interesting for you guys to look at later on. And then your next steps. What would be really cool for you guys, if you guys can do, is grab your notepad, grab your Word document or something where you can copy stuff down. Um, that would be really good. Okay, I'm letting Tracy in. Tracy's joined the conversation. Okay. Welcome. For those who just joined us, I am doing a presentation tonight on day in the life videos and how to use your phones to be able to tell these stories and post them on your social media. And why day in the life videos are so important. Um, it's because it shows value. If you look at a $5,000 Dior bag or a $6,000 Chanel bag or a Rolls Royce, you're gonna look at the ticket price and you're gonna be like, my God, this is expensive. But when you see the craftsmanship and how long it takes to build a Rolls Royce, it takes a year to build that car, right? So they're building it piece by piece, frame by frame, stitching by stitching. Then you start to see the value. And it's the same thing with you guys, right? If you start showcasing how long you've been on the phone, how long you are researching the perfect hotel for your client, they start to really see the value, right? You're not just jumping on the computer and asking AI and you're going to go grab a coffee and go to sleep. So that's why it's important to show the value, because whether you do it on commission or whether you charge a fee, your client should know the value that you're bringing them. And that's really what it's all about. All right, so let's go into why day in the life videos work. So day in the life videos are one of the fastest ways to stand out and build a personal connection with your audience. A day in the life video pulls back the curtain and shows clients how to work and how you work and which who you truly are. It highlights your commitment, passion, and expertise without feeling like a sales pitch. So important, right? Everything is salesy now. Everything is non-organic. So this really reverses the deal flow. It makes people want to come to you versus you go to them. This type of content builds relatability, and clients feel like they're getting to know you personally. Of course, who doesn't want to feel like they know somebody a little bit more intimately before handing off thousands of their dollars, right? Social media platforms reward behind the scenes content because it feels real and human. Absolutely. I love AI, but the argument could be made now. Everyone is asking, well, is that real, right? Is that real phase of life has come into effect right now. It's like, is it real? Is it not real? And so there was a big spike in pandemic for people launching businesses. Why? Because they could get funding. And so now, when you're building a brand and it's equity, the brand equity, it's so important to build relatable, real content that highlights you, that showcases yourself. I mean, you can't. Both my account and and my business account are verified, and the first thing they ask you for is your photo ID to do a video and stuff. Why? Because they want to verify it's you. So verification is super important. So the first question I want to ask you guys, and this is what you're going to be able to write down for us, is what is your why? So what do you want to gain from telling people about these day in the life videos? As travel advisors and professionals in the chat, ask yourself, do you want to generate new leads? So new clients, essentially. Do you want to build a stronger social presence? Do you want to better connect with your followers? A lot of times it's that, right? Some people hire me not to grow their business, but just to connect with the people that come into their business daily. Do you want to sell your travel services more effectively? What that means is that if you are a specific person, like say you're looking for Disney people, and you're not putting out any Disney content, and you're getting all kinds of different people asking you about all kinds of different trips that are not Disney. If you want people to ask you about Disney, you have to show Disney. It's pretty much that's really as simple as it goes, right? Your why will guide you how you show up on camera and how your audience connects with your stories. So take a minute now to write down your answer down, like on your sheet. It could just be in your notes. You don't have to share with me, but it's going to be important before you start building content to understand why you think you need to do it, um, and then that will help guide the type of content you build. And I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to do that. What is your why? Somewhere there listed right there. Generate leads, build stronger social presence, connect with your followers, market your travel services more effectively, or all of the above, or something that I didn't mention there. Okay, couple more seconds. Okay, so now that you have written down your why and you understand or you think you know why your why is, we're going to move into what is your competitive advantage. So this is now we're talking about your identity, your core values, who you are. Consider the following as you look at your travel business. What do you offer that others don't? What makes your process, service, or product stand out? Why should someone choose you over a competitor? What unique strengths and qualities set your business apart? And a lot of these strengths and the stuff that I'm talking about here, if you are a little bit more of a seasoned travel advisor, you should have a bunch of testimonials and great things people have said about you. Well, what are those things? Those things are going to help drive um, your your why, right? Your competitive advantage, the things that people have said about you. You can say, oh, well, I'm gonna pick on Eileen because we've recently helped her build her website. Eileen focuses on Europe, right? So me and her chose some places, some destinations in Europe that we feature on our website. Why? Because when people go there, we want people to drive them to Europe. And Eileen also goes on some of these trips, right? So she's actually not just sending people and saying, "Hey, have a nice day." She's jumping on the Gate One bus and going on these trips. So they have somebody with them. If anything goes down, she's there with them, right? That's a competitive advantage, right? Hey, we curate trips around Europe, trips that we think that you would enjoy, and we'll come with you on that trip to make sure that you have a good time and everything is safe. And so, like, that's an important part of your competitive advantage because some people would just send you to Europe by yourself, right? Um, and so, what I'd like you guys to do is take a moment. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to write down your competitive advantage, things that people have said about you, things that you know about yourself that's been kept, makes you, good. What makes your process or your product stand out? You might do something specific, like maybe you are doing gay weddings, or maybe you focus on children with special needs. These things should be pinned to your social media because when people are has an autistic child and they're looking for a travel person and they see that as part of your competitive advantage, oh, you guarantee they're going to reach out to you over somebody else. So take a moment to write down some of your competitive advantages. And again, I'm going to put this presentation in our marketing classroom on School. If you guys are not on School, I don't know why you're not on School, but if you're not on our School, please make sure you're on our School, because all of our training, all of the different advice, being able to contact Sam, Deb, and me through the DMs or posting, um, that's where you would do it outside of an email. Give you guys another minute to think about that. Okay. And if you haven't had a chance to write down all your advantages, which I'm sure all of you guys have plenty of advantages why somebody would choose you, you can always do it later, right? And that's something that is personal to you, but it's going to be super important before you pick up. Whenever I work with a brand, before they spend thousands of dollars with us doing production and hiring actors and these people, I start with their brand book, right? And I dive through their brand book and I look at like what their core values are, what people say about them. I Google them, I search them. Why? Because I'm trying to get all of their assets and qualities that make them superheroes and push that in the storytelling, right? So when you guys pick up your phone, before you start producing content, you should have your core values, your why, and then also your advantages. So now that you have the two parts of that, right? Let's go into the framework of the storytelling. Now, this simple structure helps your videos feel complete, intentional, and emotionally connected, right? We talk about the human touch and that emotional connection, not the AI generated version. Generated AI content is good for posting and stuff like that. I myself sometimes don't even want to post that kind of stuff because I feel like it's not going to drive the type of clients. It's just very generic or just posting to post. So I try to be more intentional with my posting. But that's me. Um, One, start with a hook. Lead with something engaging, a question, a bold statement, a relatable moment, or an eye-catching visuals. Hook stops the scroll. So we're realizing that we're building this content for our social media. And with social media, there is I mean that the minute you refresh, by the time you're trying to watch a video, it refreshes and is showing you another video, right? So it's very hard and distracting. So grabbing it with something, and it doesn't have to necessarily be something like you holding sparklers, like spinning around on your kitchen table. It just needs to be. It might be even something you say, right? Um, like, here's how to travel with an autistic child. Boom, I'm stopping. If I have an autistic child, I am stopping. I am watching that video. I am hooked. Please tell me more. So it might be something you say. It might be something you do, right? So you might be in an event and you might spin around or hold your hands up, right? Something that catches them for the first 5 seconds. Here I'm at the 2027 travel show, right? Something that um, will drive them to stop. Now it's all about showing the journey. Give viewers a look into your real experiences, your process, the challenges you solve, the people you help, and the results you deliver. So, in this case, you want to be authentic as possible with this and show the journey. A lot of you work from home, you have uh, full time jobs. or sometimes this is your full-time job, but you have a home office, um, don't be afraid to show where you are and what you do, because people will be more relatable with you and connect with you in a different audience. Make sure that your workspace is clean and you're showing the right thing, but be authentic with the experience and show them, right? Show the not be on the phone for 2 hours with the don't record for 2 hours your wait time, but show that, man, I waited over 2 hours to get back to them. Finally they came on the call and I was able to help my client. They're like, wow, they waited on the phone 2 hours to service this client. This person goes all the way. I'm in, right? And then three, end with purpose, close with clarity. um how what you do impacts your clients or improves their lives, makes your value obvious and memorable. Yeah, so end with something that says, um, end with something, hey, for other ways that I can curate your Europe experience, stay tuned. Or say, to learn more about how I help my clients book um, travel in Dubai, subscribe to um, my email list on my website, right? So drive a call to action. And something super important now, because people love like binging. Binging has obviously done with TV and shows, but binging on social media now with entertainment stuff, people like to follow people's journey. We just interior designer just hired us to she does high-end designer work for like um, for schools, but also for private people with penthouses and stuff. And so she has been working, rolling up her sleeves, doing this for so long, but no one has caught her experience. No one has caught the journey of her running to Lowe's or running to Ding to pick up pieces, or you know bringing them up 3 flights of stairs. They see the glitz, the glam, but they're not seeing the real work. And so when you're hiring her now and you see that real work, you're going to be like, oh, this person goes all of the way. So definitely always end with a purpose, um, and show what that purpose is. And Shanetta, I see that you're raising your hand. I will get back to you in a minute. Thank you. And then um, I wanted you guys to look at, so this is my production page for my creative agency, PH Consulting and Media. Um, so if you look at our insights from January to March, you'll see like we're steadily having an increase. We were at 9,800 views. Our interactions were 420. So 420 interactions, likes, comments, right? That kind of stuff. New followers, we gained 204 new followers within like a month, pretty much, right? End of January to the beginning of March. So really, we're looking at February. So within February, we gained 204 new followers. Content, we shared 42 pieces of content, yeah, through posts and stories. What do we post on our page? We post our crew working on the set and behind the scenes for our clients. A lot of behind the scenes content. I post 90% behind the scenes content and maybe 10% of our actual work. Why? Because when people are hiring us, they're hiring the crew, they're hiring what we're able to do, and not necessarily the work that they've seen. Um, Sometimes people do hire you for the work that they've seen, but most people know that they need help with their business, and it doesn't usually look like the other person's business. So they're just wanting to see, well, if I'm going to be charged thousands of dollars for the day, what does that look like in terms of value on the set? What am I walking into? And so we post a lot of that, which gives them clarity. So by the time they come to me, they already know the team members. They know some of their names because they've been following us and they've seen all the interactions with us. And we're not just posting like serious content working. We're showing us hanging out together. Why? Because we like each other. Um, and a lot of our content is video. 95%, in fact, of our content is video. We will post images, but we are a video advertising agency, so it makes sense that we post more video. Um, But I would suggest you guys starting to post a lot more video on your page, more than images, because that's just where things are going now. They will push more video. Carousels are still fully effective, and I will not debate you on posting a really nice carousel. But I would say that video is, look at your channel, look at your social media as like your channel, right? And if you post an image, it's like a stay tuned. It's like you're waiting for the video to activate. That's what video really does for your page. Majority of our posts are black and white. Black and white for us on our page identifies us as that's a behind the scenes video. Usually if you see it in color, that's an actual project that we've completed that we're featuring. So you can see a little glimpse of it right now. That pink that you're seeing right there, that's a video that we just produced for Renaissance Hotels. And so we posted that on our social, and so that's a completed project. But we'll also post the videos behind the scenes on how we made that Renaissance commercial. So that's kind of how we identify and break it up. And as a result, our engagement interactions are steadily increasing. So this formula that we use on our page um, is why we have had a steady increase for maybe 6, 7 months now. And we probably gained maybe 2,000 more followers in the last maybe 5, 6 months. We just have to be consistent with the content, and we're just very purposeful with it. We're not posting every day, but when we post, it's something that we think that is going to drive the our engagement and our mission. So next steps, right? Plan your theme, choose a focus, such as my morning routine as a travel advisor, behind the scenes of planning a group trip, helping my clients plan a trip to Mexico. Capture authentic moments, record real interactions, your workspace, I talked about that, your process, and the personality behind the brand and behind the business. Avoid overly staged content. Authenticity is what resonates. It's very true. I think the more authentic you are, the more they're going to immediately think it's real, and then they're going to put you in this real category immediately. I think people are just trying to fake real, fake real. They're trying to just identify that now. So it's super important that you just show who you are. Um, keep it simple. Use your phone, natural light, short clips, high production isn't required. Consistency matters, and this is coming from a producer who produces high quality content. Your phones produce high quality content. I've made a lot of money off of my iPhone. I will tell you guys that now. So don't be afraid to use your iPhone. What I would say, invest in some mics. Um, I will tell you the Rode mics that we have is the best $100 you can spend, $99 on Amazon Prime, and they connect to your phones, and they that audio matters now. It didn't matter a couple years ago, but it matters so much now. And I hate seeing a beautifully crafted video and really bad audio. So I would say audio is important because you want to be clear, and you want to attract people with the right visuals along with the right audio. Don't record a ton of content, right? Sam and I and the team always have a meeting either Mondays or Fridays, and we talk about the type of content we want to post and the stories we want to do. Deb is in Cancun right now, and we talked about the type of content she's going to do, what mic she's using, things like that. But we also talked about how much content to record. You don't have to spend your whole day shooting everything. Think about what you want to do first, capture enough of it, because what's going to happen is when you're trying to get into post production, which is a whole nother conversation with you guys, um, you're going to be going through hours worth of footage, and it's just going to kill space on your phone, and you're going to be like, oh my god, I did the same thing 10 times, which one is the right one? So I'm going to help you later on with post production and how to like keep track of what's your best take and what's going to make your job easier, and other programs that you could probably use to cut edits. But really what it is first now, just doing simple videos with very little editing, right? Turn it on, turn it on. It's almost like going live, but not going live. It's like you record, so whatever you're recording, just assume that you're going to post that. Keep it simple for now like that. I think that's super important. Authenticity is your competitive advantage. We talked about this today. People connect with people, not logos, templates, or corporate messaging. When you show up as yourself, you build trust faster than any marketing campaign. So true. Authentic content creates emotional connection, which drives action and loyalty. That's so important. I know I see it across so many of my clients' social media pages, including Samantha's page. Um, Even when we post like Ava, or we're posting content that is not a business thing, it sort of still um, uh, drives people to invest into you, right? If they're investing into you, whatever you start, right? These people say you buy that they're buying what you're selling. It's because they're invested in you. So if you started another company tomorrow doing dog walking, they'd be like, man, from everything that I know about this person, from what they did in their travel business, they're very reliable. Um, they're very organized and stuff. I would want this person to walk my dog. So like your qualities go beyond your business, right? So very important that you show that. Your story, your personality, and your process are what makes your clients choose you over someone else offering the same service. So realize, don't feel afraid that there's a ton of other travel advisors popping up and there's other people. In fact, we personally um, connect with a ton of other videographers and production houses all the time. I don't look at them as my competitors because it's not to say that we do something better than them. Is that the way that our approaches and our unique values and who we are as a team, it just cannot be replicated. And it's like fingerprints, right? Everybody has their own mode of doing it. Even if the product ends up being somewhat similar, how they approach people and how we connect with people is completely different than everything else. I know from a fact I spend way more hours with people than what they're paying me. And it's because I want to build a longevity relationship with them, and I want to give them advice that's going to help them, even if I'm not making money off of it. Um, in a world full of noise, authenticity cuts um, immediately. Yeah, it's true. Just especially with social media now, just be as authentic as possible, guys, with your storytelling. And one thing that I would say too is get a stand, like a selfie stick stand too. Although you could like kind of hold your camera and stuff like that. I think the steady cameras is going to make it easier for you to kind of grab those clips that make sense easier. So invest in a selfie stick. There's great ones at Amazon. I'll probably put that into like a chat on school, like just some of the stuff that I think that you guys should get if you're going to invest in that. These are all stuff that I think the most expensive thing is probably going to be the mics. There are cheaper mics, but you'll hear the difference in them. And I bought a lot of mics and I know the difference. So I'm going to save you a lot of time and tell you which one to get. Okay, so the three takeaways and what I think is important that you guys take away from today's presentation. Authentic video is one of the most effective ways to stand out and be remembered in a crowded digital market space. Day in the life video content helps clients feel connected to you before they even reach out to you. So remember, we're talking about reversing the deal flow. That means they're coming to you. So by the time they come to you, they already know a lot about you. They know how you move. They know your personality. They might even make a joke of something that you say constantly in your videos. That really shows that connection. You really want that, right? So you don't have to spend more time selling yourself because social media is outselling yourself for you, right? This is what I tell one of my realtor clients. He's like, Phil, this video that we just did, you know, how's it going to help really bring more clients to me? Well, I said, well, do you think that video is a reflection of you and how you engage with clients daily? He said, yes. Well, if that video is out and you're boosting it and we're advertising it and it's reaching thousands of people seeing you. So the 3 people you saw today in person, 3,000 people saw you online in that same light. You don't think they're going to call you? So it's very important that um, very important that you do content that's very close to who you are. Don't try to impress them and do something that's not who you are, because there's going to be a lot of work to try to like keep up with that image, right? Try to be very authentic to who you are. That's what I will say to you guys. And of course, if you guys, I'm gonna answer questions, but if you guys need to reach out to me, you know that I do 30-minute consultations for free for our advisors. You can also email me, phil@justadventures.com, or message me on school. At this time, I will take questions from any of you guys. And I know we had some hand raises, right?
Yes, I'm gonna go first because my hand was raised.
Sounds good.
So my question is, and like sometimes speaking personally, where I kind of struggle is like I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna record this, and
Hmm.
I get there and then I feel like I don't even know where to start. So I might record for like 2 seconds and then I get lost in whatever's happening at the moment. And then
Mm,
once everything is done, I might have some pictures, but I really don't have any video. So I guess my
mm.
question is like, how do you know where to start and getting building that confidence to say, okay, yeah, I know I'm doing this right, I know it's gonna work out, versus me feeling overwhelmed like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So the type of content I'm talking about right now, Shanetta, is um content that's very purposeful, right? So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm gonna use Deborah as an example. So Hyatt invites her to Cancun. We're doing a tour and stuff. So we have a meeting of the things that I gave her a list of things, shots to get, interviews, the person to interview, the questions to interview. So in production, what I do as a producer is I'm all about planning. So before we hit the set, we plan. So the videos that I'm talking about you guys doing are very purposeful, intentional. That means that if it's at a home video, let's just say, um, you know what you're going to say. You might have a little script together. You're recording it and you're pressing end, and you're taking that time to do that. If you're talking about being in an event with a lot of people and you're like, oh my God, I'm in the moment, and damn, I didn't get any video. I grabbed some photos, but I didn't grab any video. What I would say to you too, and actually say to all of you guys, is spend more time getting video than taking pictures, because the way that the cameras, the quality of the cameras are, we can always screenshot. So if we're screenshotting um, images from the video, the quality is going to be pretty good. It may not be exactly if you do a still photo, but they're going to do pretty good. So you can always extract great images from your video. So rather than taking pictures on video, just put your camera on video, and whatever you're doing, record it with video. That's my first advice. Um, to be intentional or to feel like you're getting lost, it's because you're not going there with any intention, right? I have an event tomorrow that I'm going to, um, and I'm receiving an award, but part of the experience is um, meeting with other business owners throughout the day. And I talked to my content producer today about what we're going to do when we get there, and then what we're going to do when we get the award, and then what we're going to do after, and the type of videos we're doing. So he's going in there knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing. He's going to be following me around. He's going to catch me on stage. He's going to be doing this. So we planned that. And I think that's the difference between, like I say, you guys and influencers is influencers are doing this 24/7. They are planning daily, weekly. Their whole business is this. This is a part of your business. The other part of your business is actually go booking, looking at trips, going on fan trips, ahead of your clients. You're doing all this stuff. Um, so I would say is that um, look at it even from like months and say, hey, listen, I would love to get 3 videos done this month, and um, this is the type of, I know I'm going to go to an event, so that's going to be one. I know I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer booking travel. That's going to be two. And I know I'm going to have the opportunity to talk to Samantha at an event. That could be a quick interview. That's three. So I'm going to make sure that the type of content I get is very intentional for those three purposes. And I'm going to put them in folders, and now I have the content for them. So I would say that for you, Sharnetta, like,
And can I jump in, Phil,
yeah.
really quick? So I struggle with this too, Shanetta, and Phil, like it was is always getting on me to do this. And when I find that it's working now, especially, even in the wedding business, because Shanetta and I talk a lot about weddings as well, off of, travel stuff, is I actually write the script before I do a video. So, like how I just came back from doing a wedding in Wyoming, and when I did the Valentine's Day reel, I posted a reel. I actually had the script written before those events, because that then helped me figure out what I need to shoot. And I find like I'm someone this exact same way. If I'm in the moment, like I just cannot, my brain can't function. Like, oh, I have to be taking, the shots. And even once I take the shots, then I don't even know how to put it together because I didn't pre-plan it. So to me, like the last reel I did was, which actually did really well. It was the day in a life, like I did a Valentine's Day wedding. I actually wrote that script before the wedding. So then I was like, okay, I know I need a shot of me like walking and I need a shot of this and that. And I find like that is easier than just to say, okay, let me go there, let me get a whole bunch of videos and then figure it out in the end. I find it, I always like to work backwards. So I'm like, once I have the script, I kind of know what I'm going to do. And I'm not great at this either. It's just something I just started and it's making the process a little bit easier. So the same thing when I just came back this weekend from Wyoming and I'm like, okay, this is how like my script look. And I'm just basically shooting things and will edit it later, but I kind of have an idea as opposed to just kind of being in the moment. I'm not an in the moment person. And I think most of us obviously are planners. Where to be in this industry, you have to be very type A anyways. So I find like if you just try to figure it out on site for people like us, it's just a lot harder than going in there. Like if I was going to like say a travel show, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a video of me walking into the travel show, and then I'm gonna do like a fake interview with someone, and then maybe at the wine station. But I already have that pre-planned out, and then it's just a matter of getting those shots for this the script that you already have.
Okay, I think that was super helpful. Thank you both. When you put it in terms like that, and it's funny when you say plan, I think that also takes a little bit of the, I'm not going to say anxiety, but I know when we are like trying to dive into the social media world, we want it to look a certain way. We want to make sure we're hitting all the things that we know is successful, but without a plan, it's kind of hard to do that. So thank you
Yeah.
for putting that in perspective for me and saying, hey, before this, these are the things. And I think Phil used it best. You know, there's a purpose with this.
Oh, he gets on me all the time. Like, I want to just post like Ava all day long, right? And on my page. And Phil's always like, or I'll come up with a million ideas. And he's like, but what is the purpose? So, like, what is the point of you doing that? And every time I come up with a random idea, like, yeah, I want to do like this and that, he's like, okay, so what's the point? And
Right.
it always goes back to, you know what, for my social media, my personal social media now is telling the story of just me as someone in the wedding industry, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So it's easier because now I'm not worried about, you know, I don't take on as many clients anymore, right? Like travel clients. So
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense for me to post about travel if I'm not actively trying to get clients for travel,
Right.
right?
Right.
If I'm actively trying to get wedding clients, then that's what I need to post. And maybe posting my daughter every day don't make any sense
Right. Right.
on the time, right? So I use my stories for that. So Phil was really good with that. Or all the time I come up in an idea, he's like, but what's the point? And I think
Right.
that's something that will also help you for social media. Is like if your social media is to get clients or to get cruising clients, then maybe posting about weddings don't make sense, right? Like you can
Right.
kind of just
Mhm.
figure like what type of people am I trying to, and then you're not posting about like you're at Red Lobster's eating, like
Right.
right? Like what is that doing on your page if your whole point of your page is I want more European bookings, right?
Right.
Now I'm a European specialist. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something that Phil has been driving in my head, which is why I don't post as much as I used to. Because before it was like me on a girls' night out, and he's like,
Mhm.
what's the point?
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think too that the one thing that I would, share with you guys too, that I see a lot as a producer is it doesn't really matter whether they're just starting out or they're very successful. I've met very successful people and celebrities. They get very nervous when the camera turns on, right? And one of my jobs is to talk to them off camera and kind of be their psychiatrist. And the one thing I would say is that yes, we you should always have a plan, but um, more important than just having a plan is you have to have a vision for who you are overall, and you have to be intentional. And what I mean by that is if you are at a travel show and let's just say um you know somebody popular shows up, let's just say I'm just using an example, Brad Pitt is making it up, everyone knows who that is, and Brad Pitt's walking by and you say, hey Brad, I have a travel brand. um I always promote Europe. I know you're a big fan of Europe. You've shot films there, you've done stuff in there. Hey, could you just give us some advice on some of the places you think Europe people should travel now? And you might just come up and say, hey, you know what? Actually, these two places are really going right now. I actually just finished a film there and it would be great. You didn't plan to meet Brad Pitt that day. And the first thing you're going to say to yourself is you're going to tell yourself every reason why you shouldn't go up to Brad Pitt and ask him that. I'm not prepared. I don't have the right camera. He's going to reject me. But what I would say to you is, well, you have a travel business, and why couldn't somebody that sees Brad Pitt, right, and people that follow Brad Pitt be your next client? So you got to look at his audience too, and you got to just be like, I'm here because I'm good at what I do. Um, I have intent with what I do with my clients, and I'm going to take a chance. So not everything has to be planned out to the T. And I think when you plan things out to the T, if things don't go your way, you get very frustrated. You build up your anxiety. I don't want to do this anymore.
He's
It's not working.
talking about me, guys. This is
I mean,
how
I,
I
t- I
am.
mean, I talk about this everything, right? It happens with everyone. Our daughter is writing a thank you card to one of her pen pals who sent her a gift for her birthday, and she's frustrated because the writing is not coming out right, and she's like throwing up. I was like, well, that's not how you envision the card coming out, but that's how it's growing. So just keep working on it from there. And so I think it's more so, and this is the same thing with acting, right? Our talent when they're acting, they're memorizing the script over and over again, and I'm telling them the script memorization is important, but who you are in a character is more important. You are the owner, you're playing the main waiter in a restaurant scene, and you're a waiter now. Just pinpoint uh that um that characteristics of what a waiter looks like or what a waiter feels like. And then, the lines will come second. Then you can memorize lines. Memorizing stuff comes more authentic if you know who you are and the character you're trying to be. So I would also say that in addition to all of the very organized, intentional work that you'll do to create a video, just understand why you're doing this in the first place too. And I think that's going to help you guys too as well. Did we have any other questions from anyone else
I have a
about videos?
question. I have a question.
Yeah.
First of all, Brad Pitt would not be stopping to talk to me, so let's just go with that.
Well, you're stopping to talk to Brad Pitt, Eileen. That's the difference, right?
He'd keep walking by. He'd be like, whatever, I don't have time. Do you have like an example of a script from like Samantha that we could that you could share with us, just so we could kind of see what you're talking about?
Yeah, like a day in a life video.
Either a video or a script that's written out, something just to kind of see,
Um, I can
you know,
show I
like
can
a
well, I can
something
show you something, right? Let me
just
read
to get a
something
gist
out.
of what, I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but just to see like an example, I think would be kind of super helpful.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna show you guys something that's in itself. We're gonna do a quick lesson right now with you guys. Okay. I am a travel advisor in New York. I specialize in Mexico, and I want to write a script short for Instagram that introduces myself as a I know my spelling is off, guys. Bear with me. That introduces myself as an advisor and expert in Mexico travel. What are some ideas that can show my day-to-day life as a travel expert? Oh, Fonda's coming in. So one of the ones that they came up with was morning coffee, checking, researching Cancun voice notes, calls, building an itinerary. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna say create a small script on how I build an itinerary for Cancun, Mexico. Okay, it's just I'm trying to refine this real quick. So when you're coming up with like a script, the script for your video is determined on how you are trying to build that video, right? So if you are a if you're a travel expert in and you're trying to teach people the quality of the work you do in terms of the hours that you put into the work, the script should be driven around that, and you should have a pretty cool catch. Give me a cool catch for my intro that gets people to stop scrolling. And my name is Phil. Let's go with um, this one. And then let's say add it to the script. So, hi, I'm Phil, and I build Cancun trips the right way. Here's exactly how I build a perfect Cancun itinerary for my clients. First, I get to know you. Are you looking to relax, party, explore, or all three? Then I match you with the right resort because not all inclusives are created equal. Next, I plan your experience, private transfers, excursions, dining reservations, all mapped out. And finally, I package everything into a seamless itinerary so all you have to do is show up and enjoy. If you're thinking about Cancun, let's build it the right way. Now, this is the version of a script that looks like an ad, right? So now we're going to say, I want this to be a day in the life video that I take my viewers down a journey. I'm Phil. I build Cancun trips the right way. Come with me while I plan a Cancun getaway for one of my clients. My day usually starts with coffee and checking messages, seeing what my clients are looking for and what kind of trip they are dreaming about. From there, I start researching, finding the right resort, the right location, and the right vibe because no two Cancun trips should ever feel the same. Then I map out the experience, transfers, excursions, dining, all the details that turn trips into something unforgettable. By the afternoon, I'm finalizing everything, making sure every piece flows perfectly from arrival to departure. And just like that, another seamless Cancun itinerary is ready. If you're thinking about Cancun, let me build it the right way. So that's an example, Eileen, of like a day in a life. So now what images go with that? It could be you working on a computer. It could be you um, talking to somebody. That becomes a little challenging if you're using your cell phone to record it, because you might end up having to use another phone in order to record yourself.
Mhm.
But you being on the phone with them, showing that you're on the computer, um, and it can all look like a regular, just like you on the computer, but I think it's what you're showing on the computer that you're doing. And then
Right.
maybe you're showing you printing out the itinerary, looking it over, maybe clicking through a couple of restaurants, and you're like trying to find the perfect restaurant. And I think in this case, like to Sam's point, the voiceover is important, right? Because you're saying, and in marketing, we call it CSA. I know you're in media planning and media buying. So like, in our creatives, it's all about like showing what you're saying. And I do think it starts with the script because with a script like this, you can fine tune it. Um, and then when this video that you end up doing might get a lot of views because it says, oh, wow, um, what it shows is that this is the process I go through in terms of planning a trip for my clients. And
Right.
that's just one type of video out of all the many things that you can do with those type of day in a life videos, right? Day in a life could also mean that you're aboard voyages. Day in a life could mean that you've actually traveled with your clients and you're on a gate one experience and you're showing like first we started the day with coffee, then I got everybody to the bus. After that I did a head check because at this time you can always lose somebody. It's very important that we don't lose people. So I do a head check and then off we go to our first destination. So you're building a script and you're telling a story. It's sort of like your diary, right? and then you're using the images. So once you have the script, so you say you wrote that script the night before, and this script comes up, what you can generate is called a shot list, which is what Sam was talking about. You can generate a shot list, and now you have so now it's like, okay, create a shot list of the clips I need to get. And then it will create a shot list, right? Talking to the camera, pouring coffee, grabbing coffee from a shop, opening up laptop or iPad, checking emails, quick typing shot, um, close up on tabs, laptop screen, browsing resorts. Your focus, slight head nod, like this is the one, right? So you're building up all of the footage that you need to get. And then once you capture all of those clips, it's actually putting them in the order of how you would present this, right? Walking outside, grabbing lunch. So maybe you stretch, you get up, right? So we might get a nice shot of you stretching and then going back to your computer, right? Because you've been on it all day. That shows you all day. You're smiling because you're happy to do it. You're not upset. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much how you can kind of design a script from scratch, what I'm just showing you guys. And this, who the people that are on that don't know, this is Chat GPT that I'm using. And there's a lot of AI tools. I think the thing about AI is that it is like your assistant that you do not pay, right?
Mhm.
And you can um, help yourself to generate content and script writing with just asking commands. And then you look at it and then refine it. I believe that AI is like how the Jetsons were back in the day. I know all you guys are old enough to at least know what the Jetsons are. But like they would go into the work and they just punch a bunch of commands, like, make eggs, make bacon. And they're like, oh my God, I had such a long day. They're not actually making it, but they're doing commands. That's exactly what AI is now. AI is, the better you are at commands and the better you are at knowing who you are, the better you're going to be able to refine it, because chat throws something out to you. And then you're like, you know what, chat? This doesn't sound like me. This is way too bubbly. And I'm a little bit more stern in my research. So I need this to have a more stern personality. And it will rewrite it. It will rewrite it a million times over until you feel
Right.
like, oh, this sounds like me.
Cool. I do have one other question.
Yeah.
So, do you recommend that, the media buyer that I am, like
Now,
doing buying like I guess the boost or what? I know you can like buy to like advertise to get
mhm,
a way other than my 230 followers. Like,
that's a lot. That's good.
I mean, is that something you recommend doing or?
Um, to start, I wouldn't boost content, right? If you guys have something specific, so say for instance, you've created um a, a trip, right? I know Deborah's doing a trip to Paris. If you are curating a trip, that might make sense if you're looking for just random people to come on your trip, that you boost
Hmm.
that content. So, hey, I've put together a beautiful trip to Paris. It includes such and such nights, and it's $1,500 all in. Um, and they click the link and they can see it and they can subscribe to come on the trip, right? You might do a Europe trip and do that. For your authentic storytelling, um, we want to be as authentic as possible. What I would say is first, um, post it. And what I would say is that a lot of the content I post, um, we get engagement on, people are not following us. So we might get 50-50. We might get 50 likes from people that are not following us. Hence why we've increased 2,000 followers in the last 6 months. It's because we're putting out content that is meaningful for people that don't follow us. So
So then how are they
essentially,
seeing it? If they don't follow you, then how are they seeing it?
well, that's the beauty of social media now, right? I think between your copy that you're writing, like, hey, come along with me in a day in the life on how I book trips to Mexico, um, and you start the video with, hey, I'm a hey, let me for those who don't know me, I'm Phil. I create memorable experiences for people traveling to Mexico. And I'll go into today, I'm going to be talking to you about how I plan a trip to Cancun. And in every one of my videos begins with, hey, I'm Phil, I'm a Mexican travel specialist. So what happens over time is that people start to follow you, and then people that are looking for Mexico, Instagram is like, hey, I got some content from a guy that specializes in Mexican trips that you might want to see. And it starts popping up on your timeline, and you're like, how the hell did that happen? Well, it's the algorithms, right? It's you don't long even have to use hashtags. Before we used to put like 80 hashtags on
Yes.
videos. They limit now to 5. And the purpose of that is because they're trying to just drive them out because um,
Oh, wow.
content,
I did not know that.
yeah, it's doing so well now that you can you can look at the copy in a thing and it's just pulling your words and pulling sentences and it's searching and it's driving on that. So I think the more that you post authentic videos that like really connect to the type of person you are, like you're, hey, I'm Aline, I'm a European travel specialist. Um, and today I'm showing you around Ben. You know, we're traveling to Ben in London. Um, hey, I'm Aline. I'm a European travel specialist, and today I'm telling you how I book a trip to Paris. Um, hey, today I am showing you what a customer said about me. For those who don't know me, I'm Aline. I'm a European travel specialist. That you saying that over and over again and posting that thing defines you as a European travel specialist. So when you go to an event and someone sees you, you're like, I know you. Aren't you Eileen? Don't you travel? Don't you do European travel? You specialize in... Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've seen your videos. That's happened before. That's happened with me. That's happened with Sam. We've been in other countries and they're like, Sam, travel? They, aren't you a travel person? We've been in, I kid you not, we've been in Portugal and other countries. And she legit came up to them and was like, hey, you're a travel, you travel. Can I take a,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah. And so I would say that to be very um intentional with your content and drive back the point over and over again so that it's like almost subliminal in people's messaging and realize
Yeah.
that every piece of content you post, something you posted 5 months ago, a lot more people haven't seen it. I'm the king of that. We post content that we've already done like 4 or 5 years ago. And they're like, oh my God, that place is amazing. I didn't know that you guys were shooting there. That's great. Congratulations. I'm like, dude, we did that like 8 years ago. But we were repurposed it because we realized that every time we record it again. So like if you guys did 12 videos over the year, you did one video a month, you got 12 videos on your page. You take those last 3 videos and post them in January of the next year. I guarantee you get a whole new set of audience and people. You'll never get one people. I've never seen one person comment on my videos or any of my clients' videos, hey, you think you could post new content? I've seen this already. Not one. So, you know, that goes to
Okay.
show you the content that it's in a vast world and you don't have to always reinvent the wheel. You can post the same thing, a day in the life video 3 times for the year on what you're doing and someone else will see it.
Hey Phil, how are you?
Yes, hi, Twanda.
How are you?
I'm good.
So I'm glad you mentioned that about repurposing.
Yeah.
Um, Whenever I post, I've tried to start posting my travels sometimes while I'm there.
Nice.
And also when I return,
Mm-hmm.
then I really get into more detailed what I wore, my
Nice.
feedback or reviews on the hotel, what I like
Mm-hmm.
most about where I visited, stuff like that. And then maybe say another trip comes up or I do something else and there'll be a gap of time and then I still have all this
Mm,
content left over.
mm,
Like there's stuff from my trip to Dubai
mm-hmm.
that I have yet to post. And I'm just like, if I go and post it now, will people pick up on the fact that, man, she went to Dubai like last September and she just got back from, say, Jamaica. And now
Well,
she's posting Dubai again. Like, where is
you know
she?
what? You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna be like, "Damn, girl, you traveling to Dubai? You just came back from Jamaica and you're in Dubai right now? That is crazy." I guarantee you that's what they're going to tell you. And you're probably thinking about like your closest friends, but those are not the people that you're selling your travel to. It's the people that don't
Okay.
know you, right? The people that
So,
do know you know
okay.
that you're home, right? But the people that are on social think that you're in Dubai.
You know what? I always get sort of caught up like that, thinking about, you're
Yeah.
right, the people that know me know I ain't in no Dubai. But does it
Yeah.
really matter that I'm not there? Is it just about using that content to create, some traction for new followers?
And you know what you can do, which has worked before too. If you guys are really, um, if we're talking about real, being authentic right now and being really real, and you don't want to, come off as that you're at Dubai right now, you can say, I was just reminiscing of my Dubai trip last year. I do this all the time. And I just searching through some content, and man, that experience in Dubai really changed me. Sharing some never seen footage that I didn't post before. I hope you guys like it. You know,
Got you. Okay,
yeah.
thank you. That's
It's all about like how you position it, right?
right.
I love that about storytelling because you could it we do it repurposing content all the time for clients, right? They're going to spend to $8,000 to $10,000 with me. We archive all that content for a year, so anything that we're contracted to produce, we have all that footage backed up, and they can come back to us and say, hey, we want to do um, another video. So um, repurposing your content will always be good, and if you guys do have those videos that live on your phone, think about maybe even doing something with that. Maybe you do a nice voiceover and take some footage that you already did. You don't even have to shoot anything in. I see Jessica. You raised your hand. Yes, Jessica.
I did, but I think you just answered my question.
Oh,
So, I actually today I took a picture of, I started working. I have a meeting with a client on Wednesday, so I just
hmm
wrote down a couple of questions that I wanted to ask. So I took
hmm
a picture of that, of like my notebook with all my questions, because I wanted to post it online, but it was
yeah.
actually just one picture.
Oh,
So
okay.
while I was listening to you before, I was just thinking like, how do I go about it? Should I just post that one picture? Should I create like a video
Yeah.
of of the whole process and just wait to collect multiple, more content, I guess, and then
hmm
make the video? I don't know, just brainstorming.
Yeah. The other thing too, you mentioned something about like you said that you did so during the whole process you only able to capture one photo or you have video too.
So I have the meeting with them on Wednesday. So I started prepping today. So I
Mm-hmm.
took the one picture of the questions that I wanted to ask.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you have like a still you did like a screenshot of the questions you want to ask them. Mhm.
Correct.
You're gonna do like an interview with them?
Correct.
Oh, that's excellent. They have like an Instagram and social media?
They do, but I don't know it.
Okay. You know, search them too. Like so anyone that you're gonna interview, look to collaborate them, right? If you can. Because they're gonna want to know that people are interviewing them because that means they're important.
Mhm.
And you're gonna want to have that content because you're interviewing relevant people to your industry. So I would say definitely collaborate them. In
Mhm.
terms of the questions that you ask them or like how you ask them in the image, yeah, I would just this is all your pre-production phase and I would ask them the questions and be very intentional with what the point of it is, right? So ask questions that is going to try back a point that you're trying to make. Let's just say, for instance, if Eileen focuses on European travel, she's interviewing people and she's talking specifically about Paris, she's talking about Greece, she's talking about Portugal, she's talking about, places that are in Europe that are relevant to what she does. It says, tell me three reasons why Portugal is the number one destination of the people that you're not thinking about right now. And she's doing an interview with that, and it drives back her thing. Hey, did you know that I'm a European specialist and I actually book Portugal? So I would say just be very intentional with your questions and stuff. But I think your point is, do you post anything prior to that interview? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And should I like should I create a video rather than making like a carousel, for example, on the process of booking, like the process of building an itinerary, even before I build the itinerary, like what takes me there. I think that's really what I wanted that video to, or that information to be about.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the question that you're asking them is about booking a trip?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Um, I would say, um, I would say if they're not going to, if they have to be okay with being on video.
Mm-hmm.
If they are okay with being on video, capture that experience with you doing their virtual call, because that's going to go a long way if they're cool with that. If they aren't cool with that, show from your perspective. At first, it started out with a Zoom meeting with our client. I asked them the questions. So you just need enough visual to
Mm-hmm.
land the voice part of the script, right? So in this case, you'd say, I asked all of my clients 5 very important questions when learning how to curate the trip. One is this, that. You tell the questions, and those clips might be you talking to your camera, smiling, jotting notes down, and stuff like that, right? Because that all builds like the experience of like you putting this together. So this is all a pre-planning of a trip. Next, we're going to show you how I follow up with a client, right? Or when they're traveling, what does that day look like? On the day my clients are traveling, the first thing I do is make sure that they have their passport and itineraries and everything together. So now you've got 3 videos, 3 touch points. You help them to gain the questions needed to put it together. You put together this beautiful itinerary for them. On the day that they're traveling, you make sure they're having a good time. During their travel, you're following up with them. And when they come back, you talking to them too. And so now you have those 3 touch points.
Got it. So make it like a series, so to speak.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good point. Guys, the power of three. So we went to Portugal. Sam, we showed the experience of Samantha and I traveling to Portugal, driving through the countryside and all that stuff. Then we showed the day that we're visiting all these beautiful hotels because the hotels had us out there visiting their hotels. And then third, I flew back and her friends flew, and then she had like this personal experience with that. And so we did a 3-part series for Portugal. What you can do is the power of three is so important in this because you can actually, it's sort of the stay tuned and it gets people binge watching you, like I was mentioning before. So if you did an event, let's just say, for instance, you went to Travel Weekly's event in New York City. The first video is you getting ready to go. You're not even at there. And you took a cab and you're right outside Travel Weekly event and you cut the video there. The next one is the experience at Travel Week. Oh, I met so many great people and I gained the courage to dance on stage. I had the most amazing table with me, wine and stuff like that. We talked about this. We talked about all latest travel. And then, and that was right before I went up and I accepted an award. And then the award is like, oh man, it was such a great experience traveling the award. Um, and so now you have like the power of three, right? And I did that for a client. I'm gonna end this video with you guys. I'm gonna show you guys something. Now that you mentioned that, that was a that was a that sparked my memory with something important. Let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick. Um, let's see my search. So, okay, here I'm gonna show you one of my clients. Let's see if I have it. Might not have this one here. Yeah, she does a lot of content. Um, but yeah, I think the power of three is super important. Um, and we recently she did. Let me see if this is it. Um, yeah, I think this one. Let me see. Uh, find it. Let's see.
Everything.
Okay. So, one of my clients was on a podcast, and she wanted to be super intentional about the journey of being on this podcast. And I'll show you guys the videos that she did.
Past, and I'm still thinking about everything we uncovered. We talked about what it really means to show up, not just when it's easy, but when it's uncomfortable too. When your voice shakes, when your palms sweat, and you're not totally sure how it's going to land, but you say yes anyway. I've learned that sometimes the most powerful growth happens when we speak outside the box, when we're willing to stretch, to lead, even when things feel a little out of our control. Because here's the thing, confidence isn't about being fearless, it's about learning how to anchor yourself in the moment, even when everything feels uncertain. Big thanks to Leah Silverstreet and Bree DeChance for having me on their Hustle and Heart podcast. It was real, it was raw, and exactly the kind of conversation that reminds me why this work matters. Stay tuned. I really can't wait for you to hear it.
So this was prior to the
Conversation on the Hustle and Heart podcast.
so this was
And I'm
prior to
still
having
thinking
a
about
pod
everything
the,
we
the
uncovered.
this
We
is
talked
this is
about
prior
what
to
it
having
means
the
to show up.
actual podcast out, right? So she showed that just like it was like this stay tuned thing. So you saw all these clips of behind the scenes, and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna watch the podcast now. What were they talking about? And then the actual she did 3 videos. So we did one where she was actually getting ready, literally like, putting on her makeup, looking in the mirror, going into the car, going over there, feeling nervous in the elevator, doing her breaths and stuff because she was about to go on a show that she was nervous about. So that was very authentic. And then we showed the one that you just saw, which is about after the podcast, is thinking about, oh my, I'm reflecting on the time. It was such a great time. I can't wait for you guys to see. So this content was coming up before the podcast actually aired. And so we had more viewership on the podcast because the anticipation was there, right? So I think doing things in like a 3-part series could be really intentional for you guys when you're doing something like that, and realize you don't have to cram everything in one video. You can stretch it out across 3 series and make them shorter clips. And I think that would be just as effective, and you'll get more content out of it.
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys, and any more questions? I'm going to definitely put that presentation in our marketing classroom in school probably by Thursday. And it had I'm just going to run through that real quick again. Just so you guys know, there was questions in there that you guys should be thinking about. And I started it off with these 2 questions, right? Your why and what is your competitive advantage? So, think about that this week, and your answers are going to really help you to narrow down, and then use chat. Be like, hey, listen, here are my whys. Here's my competitive advantage. Help me write a script that talks about my day in the life planning booking a trip, and I guarantee you every one of your scripts are going to look completely different with chat because you're inputting your competitive advantage and your why. And all your whys and competitive advantage are different. And even if they overlap your personalities, you're going to see that script and you're like, that doesn't sound like me. That's not something I post. That's not really how I talk to my clients. So this is why brand, and I have if you guys look in our in the classroom, you're going to see the marketing folder. And there's like a couple of presentations in there on like marketing and branding and building your personality and your core values. That's in there. Take a look at that if you haven't already, because that's an important part of this experience too. You are advisors, but this is your brand or your business. And so your personality for your business may not necessarily reflect your own personality. And a lot of times it does, but sometimes it doesn't, right? You may be a very quiet, reserved person that books live action entertainment trips for people, right? But you yourself would never go on one of them, but your company is great at booking them. So that's a good example. So, think about your whys, think about your competitive advantage, think about your core values. Um, what's the personality of your brand, and that's going to help you start to build like very close to who you are content, and then you'll feel very proud of it because it feels like you don't feel like you're lying or misleading people. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me tonight. And I will think about the next presentation that I want to give you guys, probably mid second quarter, like the second quarter. So probably maybe like end of April or like May. I'll do another video on like actually physically. We'll go through the steps of actually building a video, and editing one, um, and talk about what you should be editing on. Like for instance, you should be editing if you're editing for Instagram, you should be using Instagram editor, because it does go a longer way. Or if you cut some of your video offline using like a simple tool like InShot, finish editing it in editor will go a long way too. So you import it in. It's all algorithm based stuff, but I think right now, I think the most important thing for you guys to do is just before you even like return on your camera, answer those questions and build like a script for yourself, and just feel comfortable with that script before you put on the camera. And then if you want to share that with me, you can email it to me at phil@justadventures.com, or you can DM me on school during like regular business hours. If it's not during business hours, I will message you back like the next business day. Thank you so much for joining with me tonight. We have a cool presentation next week from a new company, I believe, that's doing Monday night. We're doing Monday night trainings with. So we'll share those details. They're on the calendar on school right now. And I hope to see you guys on next week, Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem, ladies. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
All righty.